Hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of the Black Dimension. You have now been pulled in. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about the NBA's greatest players of all time. The NBA has released the 75 greatest player list. And of course, they did not rank their list. They just put their list in alphabetical order, which is cool. The NBA didn't really want to rank them. And I totally understand why. Totally understand why. But see, us folks, the fans of different things, we get to do what we want to do, okay? And today we're going to be ranking those NBA players on that top 75 list. Now, we've already ranked the first 10 on the list. And today I'm going to be ranking the next 10. There is a link for people to join the show if they would like to, but only for those who I'm already familiar with and they know who they are, okay? But today we gave some analysis of the players from beforehand. Okay, so far holding down the number 10 spot we have Ray Allen. Holding down the number 9 spot we have Carmelo Anthony. Coming in at number 8 we got Dave Bing. Coming in at number 7 we got Nate Archibald. Number 6 we got the great Paul Arizon. And so far, the top 5 would be Rick Barry. At number 4, you got Elgin Baylor. Number 5, the only active player so far on this list, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And number 1 so far is the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Okay, so that's where we at for right now. And we're going to get right into it, folks. Not going to slow it down too much, but we're going to start discussing some of these other NBA greats. And we're going to incorporate the next 10 into this. Now, incorporating the next 10 should be very interesting because we got some very interesting names coming up as the next 10 to actually be involved. So the next 10 will be, they'll get in where they fit in, as they say. They will get in where they fit in. All right. All right. So we got Ray Allen as the last person so far in that number 10 spot. We'll see if he can hold it down. We'll see if he can hold it down. It all depends. It all depends. All right. And of course, if you are here and you're new and you're watching, go ahead and hit that like button, y'all. This is the entertainment channel of the Habitual Line Stepper. So go ahead and hit that like button. Join us, okay? You are definitely welcome to join us here. And you might as well start checking in some of our old content. We plan to give you much more content on a more regular basis. So definitely subscribe and hit that like button. Help the channel grow. Help the channel grow. All right. Now, the next player up today. Next player up today is going to be the great Larry Bird. Is going to be the next player up. Okay. So Larry Bird has had a great NBA career. I'm pretty sure most folks are very familiar with Larry Bird. Okay. Especially as he played in the 90s. Well, mainly in the 80s and the 90s. He was a part of that dream team, which is definitely a great honor for those who were able to be a part of the dream team. Not that the other dream teams weren't that bad, because there was a dream team 2 and 3. But that first dream team, whoo, that definitely was the greatest basketball team of all time, if you ask me. Okay. I definitely love seeing them play. When I did see them play, it was definitely an awesome experience. So Larry Bird is going to be the next player up. Okay, so he's going to have to fit in here somewhere. All right. Now, Larry Bird has had a pretty good career. Okay, he had a pretty good career. Larry Bird averaged 24.3 points, and 10 rebounds, 6.3 assists, 1.7 steals, and 0.8 blocks. And Larry Bird was a small forward and, definitely one of the greatest shooters of all time. And Larry Bird had, he picked up a few accomplishments along the way. He was Rookie of the Year. He made the All-Star team 12 times. He was a 3-time All-Defensive player. a 9-time All NBA player, a 3-time MVP, and a 2-time Finals MVP. So Larry Bird does have one heck of a resume. Okay, Larry Bird does have one heck of a resume. So, you can argue, you can have certain debates, but the man definitely has one heck of a resume. So the question is, where is Larry Bird going to fit in with such a great resume on him? Okay, well, let's take a look. All right. So who here is who here can Larry Bird really kind of overtake is the question. All right. Now, when it comes to Ray Allen, I don't think that's gonna be much of a question. He's definitely he's definitely gonna bump Ray Allen at the number 10 spot. Okay, it just is what it is. And it's not a horrible thing to be bumped at the number 10 spot when you're talking about the greatest players of all time in the NBA. Okay, not a horrible thing to do. Not a horrible thing. All right. All right. Now, when I look at and think about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, not gonna say he's quite there yet. Okay. Another gentleman with also an extremely impressive resume. Um, now, Kareem has a rookie of the year as well. He got 2 Finals MVP as well, but he has 6 MVPs and 15 All NBA teams, 15 All Defensive teams. So I can't even really look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as what Larry Bird is being able to edge Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But now, if I go down to Giannis Antetokounmpo, okay, if I slide down to Giannis Antetokounmpo, now Giannis is still playing, okay, so we don't know where his resume is going to end up, but for right now, Giannis is already an NBA champion, which is good. He does have a ring, okay. Giannis does have a ring. And it's not a bad thing to have a ring. That's for sure. Okay. All right. Now, Giannis is also he's a Finals MVP, but he's only has 1 Finals MVP so far. He only has 2 MVPs so far, 2 Defensive Players of the Year, a 4-time All NBA player, 4-time All Defensive Player as well. So Giannis has been doing a great job. But when we look at the accomplishments of a Larry Bird, I actually believe that Larry Bird has accomplished as much as Giannis and a little bit more. Okay. Now I think that's going to be basically just comes out to Larry Bird's career is over. Giannis' career is not over. So Giannis will probably be able to outdo Larry Bird in the future. But as of this point, I'm gonna have to give credit to what credit is due. And I'm gonna have to say that Larry Bird is going to edge. He's going to edge Giannis Antetokounmpo. Okay. Shout out to Amazi in the chat. He says, "I'm not from Chicago, but Jordan was the best, better than Kobe and LeBron too." Well, a lot of people argue that Jordan's the best, but he will get his time to shine when his time comes up. Okay, we just ain't got to his name yet. We are dealing in the first 20 from the NBA players for the NBA's 75 greatest player list. So we're dealing with the first 20. We've got the first 10 ranked. Okay, we're looking at the second 10 right now, and Larry Bird is up, and I believe he is edging out Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's still young and has a lot more he can do in his career. Giannis can do a lot more in his career. So it's not that Giannis won't eventually overtake Larry Bird, because probably will. Okay, he probably will. But at this time, I'm gonna have to give Larry the edge. So let me give Larry the edge right here. And Larry was a very great player in the NBA. Most folks are very familiar with Larry Bird. He's not a mystery to folks. Okay. So let me give Larry the edge right here. Okay. So we're gonna rank Larry Bird right at the number 2 spot so far. All right. Now, we also have our next player up. Okay, the next player up from the list behind Larry Bird is Kobe Bryant. Okay, this is Kobe Bryant right behind Larry Bird. Now, this is very interesting. I'll say that. Very interesting because a lot of people argue that Kobe is one of the greatest of all time. A lot of people argue that Kobe Bryant is you know, top 3 really. You know what I'm saying? You don't really hear a whole lot of arguments that Kobe is not top 3. And Kobe is great. Don't get me wrong, Kobe is great. I think he deserves a lot of credit for all the things he's done. A lot of folks say he was just a step behind Michael Jordan. Okay. Um, and being a step behind Michael Jordan is not a bad thing at all. Okay. That's not a bad thing at all to be a step behind Michael Jordan. And most people who talked about it say that Kobe Bryant is the closest thing you're going to ever get to Michael Jordan. A lot of folks say that Michael Jordan is the greatest. And we all have that argument as that comes up. Okay. We'll have that argument as it comes up, I'm sure. Okay. Um, Now, Larry Bird's done some things as well, and Kobe has done some things. So let's really examine these two people and see what we really get here. Okay. Now, Larry Bird. Okay, I just read off his, but Larry Bird was a Rookie of the Year. He was Finals MVP twice. He was a 3-time MVP in the NBA. He's a 9-time All NBA player, a 3-time All Defensive player. He was a 12-time All-Star as well. Okay, 12-time All-Star as well. All right. Now, to me, this makes for a very interesting argument, and we really can look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as well, and I do believe we can look at Larry Bird as well. I know people you may think for a second, while we look at Larry Bird, is Kobe better than Larry Bird? Based on the eye test, most folks are gonna say that Kobe is better than Larry Bird. That's not even too much of a question, okay? But how real is it? Okay, that's kind of my question. How real is that? Now, when I look at Larry Bird's career, and I put that right up against Kobe Bryant's career, Kobe got 5 rings, but Larry Bird has 3. Okay, Larry Bird has a Rookie of the Year that Kobe did not earn. Kobe is not a Rookie of the Year. Larry Bird has 2 Finals MVPs. Kobe has 2 Finals MVPs. Larry Bird has 3 MVPs for the NBA season. Kobe only has 1. Now, Larry Bird was All NBA 9 times. Kobe was All NBA 11 times. So he edged out Larry just twice. Now, Larry Bird was All Defensive Team 3 times, while Kobe was All Defensive Team 9 times. Okay, so he got 6 more. Larry Bird was a 12-time All-Star. Kobe Bryant was an 18-time All-Star. So they both did some things. Larry has 2 more regular season MVPs than Kobe Bryant. To me, he does edge out Larry Bird. Okay, but I think it needed to be mentioned because everybody would just jump to Kobe has done so much that he just quickly edges out Larry Bird. I mean that he blows past Larry Bird. I don't think his resume actually blows past Larry Bird. Okay, he is a little bit better, but I don't think he blows past Larry Bird. All right, so now we need to compare him and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. All right, now Kareem, of course, has the Rookie of the Year that Kobe Bryant did not have. Both Kareem and Kobe both have 2 Finals MVPs. Okay, they're even there. So Kareem has the Rookie of the Year that Kobe didn't earn, and now he's got the same Finals MVPs that Kobe earned. Now Kobe was a one-time NBA MVP. He was one-time MVP of the NBA. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has 6 MVPs when it comes to the NBA. Now Kobe Bryant is edging out in All-Star. Excuse me. Oh no. Yeah, Kobe Bryant is edging out Kareem in All-Star appearances. Wait a minute. Matter of fact, let me double check that. When it comes to All-Star appearances, Kobe Bryant has 18 All-Star appearances in comparison to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who actually has 19 All-Star appearances. So Kareem edges out Kobe there. All right. Now Kareem also has 11 All-Defensive teams. Kobe has 9 All-Defensive teams. Okay, so he beats him out just a little bit. Kobe 11 times All-NBA, with Kareem being 15 times All-NBA. So, we have our different opinions out there. To me, it sounds like it's a very qualified thing that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has had a little bit of a better career than Kobe Bryant. Okay, he's had a little bit better of a career than Kobe Bryant. It just is what it is. So I'm going to have to give the edge to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar over Kobe Bryant, which I know some people may possibly will be a little bit upset about this when they see this later on down the road. But I'm going to have to give the edge to Larry Bird over Kobe Bryant. Now, when it comes to when it comes to Giannis Antetokounmpo, no, he's just not there yet. He's just not there yet. Okay, interesting career, but no, he's not. He's not edging out Kobe Bryant. So no point even acting like he is. All right, so let me give the edge here to Kobe over Larry Bird, but falling behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which I don't think is a terrible thing. Okay, that's not a terrible thing to have no one ahead of you but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Okay, it's not a horrible thing. It's a pretty good thing. Okay, so we're gonna give it to Kobe right there, y'all. We're gonna give it to Kobe. All right. Now, next player we have up, according to the 75 NBA greatest player list. Next player we have up will be Wilt Chamberlain. Okay. Oh, Wilt Chamberlain. Now, when Wilt Chamberlain played, they were not recording steals or blocks. Who knows what they would be had they recorded it? Because we know that Wilt would definitely handle his business, even when it came to steals and blocks. Okay, and then you block enough shots, you're gonna get steals automatically because you're gonna be able to block the shots in the air, then get the ball yourself. So they're gonna credit you with a steal as well. You can get a block and a steal on the same play. So there's no telling what his steals and blocks would have been. But he's right now listed as averaging 30.1 points per game, 22.9 rebounds per game, and 4.4 assists per game. Now, these numbers come from statmuse.com, okay? As far as the averages, the averages that I'm using are coming from statmuse.com, okay, just to make folks aware, okay? And I'm looking at the credentials of the NBA players. I get a lot of this from their Wikipedia page. All right. Now, Wilt Chamberlain was a Rookie of the Year, again, a 4-time MVP, a 7-time All-NBA player, and a 13-time All-Star. There's nothing to scuff at the end of the day. There's nothing to scuff at. Now, the question is, when I look at this list, who is he beating out? Okay. Now, when I look at Giannis Antetokounmpo, and based on what Wilt Chamberlain actually got done, okay. Now Giannis is not really Giannis really isn't there because Will has the 4 MVPs and the 7 All NBAs with the 13-time All Star. So he's gonna go above Giannis Antetokounmpo, who has been able to accomplish a lot, but he's only had 4 All NBAs so far, 4 All Defensive Teams so far, only 5 All Star games so far. So he still got a little bit more work to do. He has a little bit more work to do. Now we go to Larry Bird. Okay, going to Larry Bird as where he should fit. Is he does he has a better record than Larry? Well, is he a little bit more accomplished than Larry Bird or no? Now, both of them have Rookie of the Year, so that kind of kills that right there. Larry Bird was a 12-time All-Star, while Wilt Chamberlain was a 13-time All-Star. So he does get an edge with All-Star game appearances. Now, being All NBA, Larry Bird actually has 9 All NBAs, while Wilt Chamberlain only has 7 All NBAs, which is kind of shocking. Okay, that's kind of shocking if you ask me. Okay, so we got 9 for Larry on All NBAs, while Wilt only has 7. Now, when we look at the MVPs, Larry Bird got 3 MVPs. Wilt Chamberlain has 4 MVPs, so he does edge him out on the MVP as well. Now, the thing is, Larry Bird got 2 Finals MVPs. So he helped his team get the job done, while Wilt Chamberlain doesn't have a Finals MVP. Now, I'm wondering if that's because before they named it Finals MVP, I should have looked into that. But Wilt has 2 rings, Larry Bird has 2 rings. These are both very accomplished players. Do I really need to look at the next player up to say where he fits? I mean, you got Kobe Bryant right there, but Kobe has 2 Finals MVPs. He only has 1 MVP to Wilt's 4, but Kobe has 11 All NBAs to Wilt's 7. Wilt got 13 All-Star appearances to Kobe's 18 All-Star appearances, and Kobe was named a 9-time All-Defensive Player. Now, had Wilt played in the era where they kept track of blocks and steals, I'm pretty sure he would pose a better threat. And I think I'm gonna have to just give the edge to Kobe and to Larry. Now, this may not be fair as well, but again, life ain't fair all the time, y'all. I think when it comes to this particular thing, Wilt is kind of suffering from lack of stats. Wilt's kind of suffering from lack of stats. Now, we all know Wilt was a very dominant player. Okay, we know if you're playing the game, that eye test says, yeah, I'll probably take Wilt. It's hard to say you wouldn't take Wilt. And if you had the choice between picking Wilt and Larry, a lot of folks would probably take Larry. Excuse me, a lot of folks would probably take Wilt. So I'm really giving this some thought. Could I actually put, even though there was a lack of stats at the time, can I actually put Larry Bird on top of Wilt Chamberlain? It just don't feel right in my heart to do so. It does not feel right in my heart to put Larry Bird on top of Wilt Chamberlain. And as I look at Kobe Bryant, do I feel right about putting Kobe Bryant over Wilt Chamberlain? I think the stats do hurt Wilt on this one. The stats hurt Wilt. So what I'm gonna do, because honestly, if they kept track of blocks and steals, And depending upon how the awards were named, I really believe it would be clear that Wilt Chamberlain is a better player. So I'm gonna compromise. I'm gonna bring him in right behind Kobe Bryant. I think that's fair. Okay, I'll bring Wilt right behind Kobe Bryant. Will had a heck of a career. Kobe had a heck of a career. They both got some things done. They both showed some longevity as far as their careers are concerned. Um, there is something called recency bias out there, and a lot of people will because of recency bias, will give it to Kobe. I think honestly, if stats were a track, I'm pretty sure it will be clear that Wilt Chamberlain is actually a better player than Kobe Bryant. Okay, but for argument's sake, I'm gonna let Kobe have it for now, y'all. I'm gonna let Kobe have it for now. All right, so we'll put him right there. We'll put Will right behind Kobe, right before Larry. All right. Now let's see who was our next player up. We had Bob Cousy on the list. Now Bob Cousy averaged 18.4 game, 5.2 rebounds a game, and 7.5 assists per game. Now him, like Wilt Chamberlain, played in the era where steals and blocks weren't being recorded, and that probably could have helped him somewhat. Now he does have 6 rings. Okay, he does have 6 rings. He has one MVP, but then played in the era where it wasn't really called the Finals MVP. So he has 10 All NBA appearances though, and 13. He was a 13-time All Star. So he had a heck of a career. He did have a heck of a career. I cannot say his career is better than Wilt Chamberlain's though. So since his career is not better than Wilt Chamberlain's, they both had the same All Star appearances. Now Bob Cousy did have 10 All NBAs versus Will only having 7 All NBAs, but Will got 4 MVPs versus Bob Cousy's only 1 MVP. But then Will was named Rookie of the Year as well. So I definitely see Wilt Chamberlain being better than Bob Cousy. For those who would say, well, no, you didn't even really consider. No, I'm looking at it. I can't really consider Bob Cousy better than a Wilt Chamberlain. So if I can't consider him better than Wilt Chamberlain, I'm gonna have to slide over down to Larry Bird, who was also a Rookie of the Year, which he did not win. He was a 2-time Finals MVP, a 3-time MVP. Okay, now he has 9 All NBA appearances to Bob Cousy's 10, but he does have the 3 MVPs versus Bob Cousy only having 1. And stats may hurt him a little bit because Larry Bird is a 3-time All Defensive Player, while Bob Cousy is not named to that. And I'm pretty sure they didn't have that team back when he was playing. And then Larry Bird was a 12-time All Star, so Larry definitely would have to rank a little bit better than Bob Cousy. All right, so now if we're not gonna go better than Larry Bird, that brings us down to Antetokounmpo. Okay, so let's see how. I mean, Giannis' career is not a full career. So right now, let's see how he stacks up. Now, Giannis has the Finals MVP that Cousy doesn't have. He has 2 MVPs though. He does have 2 MVPs, 2 Defensive Player of the Years, a 4-time NBA All NBA player, a 4-time All Defensive Player, and 5 All Star appearances so far. Stats hurt Cousy in this. I would have to say stats are hurting Cousy here. But Cousy did have a good run, and he's a 10-time All NBA and them 13-time All Star appearances do matter. Okay, but when I compare that against a 1 Finals MVP and 2 MVPs and 2 Defensive Player of the Years, I'm gonna have to get I'm gonna have to get an edge to Giannis on that one as well. Okay, so he's getting considered, y'all. He's getting considered, which means now we're falling down to Elgin Baylor. Okay, I'm falling down to Elgin Baylor because I'm gonna have to just give Giannis the edge. All right, so let's look at what Elgin Baylor was able to get done versus Cousy. All right, now Elgin Baylor, he falls in where they did not track those certain stats. So those stats between the steals and blocks won't hurt. Will not hurt Cousy in this particular situation. Now, Cousy again averaged 18.4 points, 5.2 rebounds, 7.5 assists. Okay. All right. Elgin Baylor, 27.4 points a game, 13.5 rebounds a game, 4.3 assists per game. Now, Elgin Baylor was a Rookie of the Year, a 10-time All-NBA player, and 11-time All-Star. So you see, he has comparable numbers to Bob Cousy, who was a 10-time All-NBA player, 7-time All-Star. Now, he has the one MVP, which is a great thing. But Elgin Baylor has that Rookie of the Year that he doesn't have. Okay, so 10 All NBAs, 11 All Stars versus Bob Cousy, 10 All NBAs, 13 All Stars, and 1 Finals MVP. Now Elgin put up better numbers, but Cousy is right there. Cousy really is right there. It's a hard decision here, but I'm well, not that hard. I'm gonna have to give the edge. I'm gonna give the edge to Baylor. I'm gonna have to give the edge to Baylor. I think he's, with the numbers he's been able to put up over his career, that's a little bit better when it comes to what they were able to accomplish. And that 27.4 that points per game average is no joke as well. All right, so I'm gonna have to give him an edge. All right, so our next player up was Rick Barry. So let's compare Rick Barry here to Cousy. Okay. Now, again, Cousy has the All Star. He has an MVP of the league, and he has 10 All Star appearances. 13 All Star appearances and 10 All NBAs. Okay. All right. So now let's look at Rick Barry. Now, Rick Barry, he has a Rookie of the Year, but he does have 1 Finals MVP, 5-time All NBA player, and he's an 8-time All Star. Okay. Rick Barry has a ring, and he has a Finals MVP with that ring. But when it comes to the numbers, he's averaging 23.2 a game, 6.5 rebounds a game, 5.1 assists per game, a half a block a game, and 2 steals a game. Oh, Rick Barry, he does a hell of a job, even though I gotta give Cousy some respect with them 10 All NBAs and that 13-time All Star and the 6 rings. That does mean something. So would it be Cousy or Barry? He only has 5 All NBAs versus 10 All NBAs, and then you got 13 All Star appearances versus that 8 All Star appearances. But Rick Barry just averaged so much. Well, the 23.2 versus the 18.4. I'm thinking that should make a difference. I'm gonna stay with Rick Barry so far, y'all. I'm gonna stay with Rick Barry so far. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to stay with Rick Barry so far. Then we got Charles Barkley here. All right. Now, when it comes to Charles Barkley, let's see. Barkley is a all right. Barkley averaged 22.1, 11.7 rebounds, 3.9 assists, zero point 0.8 blocks a game, 1.5 steals per game. Now, Barkley didn't get any rings, but he has one Finals MVP, 5 All NBA. He was a 5-time All NBA player, an 11-time All Star. So he is comparable to Mr. Cousy, if you ask me. Barkley didn't win though. I'm a person. I do like a winner. I do like a winner. Barkley has some pretty good. I mean, Cousy has some pretty good start stats, even if you compare them with Barkley stats. And people can argue that because of the team Cousy was on, it was easier to win. People will have that argument. But 11 All Star appearances versus 13 All Star appearances. Now 5 All NBAs for Barkley versus the 10 All NBAs for Cousy. He averaged 22.1, but he does have him 6 rings. Now I think it would be somewhat fair. I think that's kind of up in the air, y'all. I think that one's still kind of up in the air between the two. I think that honestly could go either way. That may be like somewhat of a coin toss. That may be somewhat of a coin toss. So before I make a decision there, let's look at Paul Arizon too, who also played in the area when he did not get credit for the steals and the blocks. Now he averaged 22.8, 8.6 assists, excuse me, 8.6 rebounds and 2.3 assists. Paul Arizon did. Now he was a 4-time All-NBA player and a 10-time All-Star. He only has 1 ring. Cousy has 6 rings though, y'all. To me, this is a hard choice. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. I really don't believe, because they're so tight together. I really don't believe that there's a wrong answer, no matter which where I stick Mr. Cousy here. So let me do this here, folks. Let me do this. Let me take one more look at the list and see who's coming. Now behind him, you got Nate Archibald. This is a tough decision here, y'all. This is a tough decision. I don't think I would be wrong no matter what I do. Now, Nate Archibald only has 1 ring, 3 All NBA appearances, 6-time All Stars. He averaged 18.8, 2.3 assists, 7.4. Excuse me, 18.8 points, 2.3 rebounds, 7.4 assists, 0.1 in blocks, 1.1 in steals, but only 1 ring. So I'm gonna definitely have to give the edge to Mr. Cousy over Nate Archibald. Tiny was good, but he didn't come up enough for me to justify that particular argument. So I'm back to looking at Barkley. Back to looking at Paul. But Cousy does have these rings. Paul only has 1 ring, while Barkley has no rings. I'm gonna have to stick. I guess I'm just gonna have to go between Barkley and Paul. I'm gonna have to go between Charles Barkley and Paul Arizon and put Mr. Cousy right in the middle. I don't think it's a terrible answer, no matter which way you would have put that there. I don't believe it's a terrible answer. But when you got to make a choice, you got to make a choice. All right. So Barkley will hold on for now, but Paul You didn't win the way Bob Cousy won. And I know some people argue, it could be because of the team he was on. But guess what, y'all? Unfortunately, that's life sometimes, and sometimes you can get to a place and make a choice, and other times you don't get to that particular place and make a choice. So being there counts. Okay, being there counts. So I think that's somewhat of a fair move to make, is to give it to yeah, I'm gonna give it to Mr. Cousy right above Paul. All right. I think that's a fair thing to do. Let's see here. Give me 1 second, folks. Yeah, yeah. That I believe is a fair thing to do. All right, so this would have to be the list so far. Ray Allen has been knocked off the board. You know, we're gonna keep up with him, but he's been knocked off the board so far. Okay. Um, I think that I think that's a fair decision, though. Yeah, I do think that's a fair decision. Okay, boom. Give me 1 minute here, making some adjustments. Bango, bango. All right. Yeah, this stuff starts to get a little tough, y'all. This stuff is starting to get a little tough. All right. So that's what we have so far. All right, now let's look at. So we have everyone who appeared so far, and plus Ray Allen, who got knocked off the top board. All right, so let's go with who was next that the NBA was considering. All right, well, right after Cousy, we have Dave Cowens up. Now, Dave Cowens averaged 17.6 a game, 13.6 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 1.1 steals, and 0.9 blocks. So pretty good, solid career. Cousy-ish type numbers. I'll say that. Now he does have a rookie of the year. He also has an MVP. He made the all defensive team as well, and he has 8 All-Star appearances. Okay, he has 8 All-Star appearances. So looking at what Cousy did with the 18.4 points a game, 5.2 rebounds, 7.5 assists. Now they both got one MVP. Now Dave did run a rookie of the year. Now Cousy was a 10-time All NBA versus Cowens, who's only a one-time All NBA, but he was a 8-time All Star versus Cousy being a 13-time All Star. So they're right there with each other. I'm gonna have to kind of just give the. I mean, that 10 All NBA sticks out to me, even above and beyond the one rookie of the year that Dave Cowens have. So I'm gonna have to say that Cousy, he, I'm gonna have to give him the edge over Cowens. Okay, and if I give him the edge over Cowens, that means the next person that needs to be considered is Paul Arison to see where he is. Now, they were kind of close as well. So if I look at Paul Arison, okay, now I roll back up to his stats. Paul has the 4 All NBAs, and he was a 10-time All Star. Okay, averaging 22.8 a game, 8.6 rebounds a game, 2.3 assists per game. So also a very solid career. He does have the one ring though. He has the one ring. All right, so and and I do believe people should get credit for being able to win. Okay, because it's all about winning in professional sports, based on the way I view things. Okay, that's just the way I view things. Now, Cowens, a rookie of the year, one MVP, one All Defensive Team, 8 All Star appearances. Okay, and if I put that against the 4 All NBAs versus the 10 All Star appearances by Paul Arizon, I think I'm gonna kind of get an edge to Paul. I'm still gonna get an edge to Paul. Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. I'm gonna still get the edge to Paul. So now I'm gonna examine Nate Archibald. All right, these are some tough decisions though. These are some tough decisions. All right, so let me take a look at Archibald. Archibald with the 18.8 points a game, 2.3 rebounds a game, 7.4 assists, 0.1 blocks, 1.1 assists. He also has a ring. He's an All NBA player 3 times, and he's a 6-time All Star. So, um, this is right there when it comes to Cowens. Cowens, 1-time MVP player, 1-time All Defensive Team, 8-time All Star. So, I mean, the rookie of the year helps. It helps. But I'm gonna have to say Paul's a little bit. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Archibald, the 3 All NBAs and that 6-time All Star still is sticking out to me. So Cowens is coming down. He's coming down a little bit. Okay. Let's take a quick look at Dave Bing and see what Dave Bing has done in comparison. Now, Dave Bing has the Rookie of the Year, a 3-time All NBA, and a 7-time All Star, averaging 20 points a game. To me, it's hard to give Cowens an edge over that. It's hard to give Cowens an edge over that. He did a great job. Well, he does have the 8 All Star appearances. He does have the 8 All Star appearances, that's not like it's nothing. Okay, that is a pretty good accomplishment. Okay, now we look at Bing, 8 versus 7, but he has 3 All NBAs, so they are close. Cowens and they are close. We got the Cowens 3-time All NBA. I mean, excuse me, Cowens 1-time. No, he's not an All NBA. He's an All Defensive. He's an All Defensive. Okay. Being a Rookie of the Year, 3-time All NBA, 7-time All Star. Okay, I think I'm gonna need to go further down. I do believe I need to go further down. Now we get to my man Carmelo Anthony. Now Carmelo Anthony, still an active player, good career so far. Hasn't finished up, but I don't know and it's just my guess. I don't know what much more Carmelo Anthony's going to add to his career, but he just has 10. He has 10 All Star appearances. Okay, 10 All Star appearances is a great thing, but because as far as accomplishment goes, he only has the 10 All Star appearances. I do believe it would be fair to put Dave Cowens over Carmelo Anthony because he has 8 All Star appearances, but he also has the 1 All Defensive Team, the 1 MVP, and a Rookie of the Year. So I'm gonna have to go with Dave Cowens right above Carmelo Anthony. Okay, I think that's the right move to make. I think that is definitely fair as well. So boom, we gonna make an adjustment here. we're gonna give Dave Cowens he's gonna get it over Carmelo Anthony. You know, you'll have a good run, but sometimes when you compare it to other people, it's hard. It's hard, you know. So he done knocked. Whoop, he's knocked off Carmelo Anthony. So let's get this adjusted here. Now the thing is, these are all some of the greatest players ever. So whether you agree or don't agree so far, of course, and you can always add in the comments if you don't like something that's being done so far, you can express your opinion in the comment section. But these are the greatest, y'all. It's not like it's anybody is in a bad or really horrible position here. We are arguing over who the greatest players of all time is, okay? And with the greatest players of all time, it's hard to make it sometimes. So far, Carmelo Anthony and Ray Allen have been knocked off the top list. They had on the second list, but so far, these are our top players, okay? And it's hard to put a list like this together when you rank everybody. Excuse me. Excuse me, folks. Yeah, you gotta make some tough choices sometimes. Okay, you gotta make some tough choices. All right, now that we got Dave Cowens out the way, gotta look at Billy Cunningham. Okay, now Billy Cunningham had a pretty good career, 3-time All NBA player, 4-time All Star. He does have one ring. Okay, and it's good to be a champion. He averaged 20.8 points a game, 10.1 rebounds a game, 4.0 assists, 1.2 steals, 0.5 blocks a game. Okay. So I think that's a pretty good career as well. Now, looking at him and Dave Cowens, Dave got the 2 rings. He only got the 1 ring. So, and Dave was close statistically. They're not that far from each other statistically. Okay, numbers are very close. Dave doesn't have the edge in points, 17.6 compared to 20.8. But, can I really say that Billy did a better job than Dave Cowens? And he was 3 All NBA versus Dave Cowens only had 1 all defensive team, but he was also an MVP. And Billy Cunningham was not an MVP at all. So I can't really comfortably put him over. I can't put him over Dave Cowens. I really can't. Okay, which means we go to a comparison of Carmelo Anthony, and when it comes to Carmelo Anthony just isn't accomplished. He doesn't have the rings. He wasn't Rookie of the Year. Carmelo Anthony has 10 All-Star appearances versus Billy Cunningham's 4 All-Star appearances, but he also has 3 All NBA. He had 3 All NBA nods and a ring. I'm gonna have to put Billy Cunningham right over Carmelo Anthony. I think that's the easy, right, and fair move. Okay, he's gonna have to go right above Carmelo Anthony. Hey Carmelo, I like you, brother. If you ever hear this, I like you. So it ain't personal. it definitely ain't personal. But when I look at the careers, we got to be fair. We got to be fair. So I'm gonna have to give Billy Cunningham the nod. And again, we're talking about the greatest ever. So no spot is a bad spot on this list because you're the top 75 players in the NBA that has ever existed. So no spot is a bad spot. Okay. So, you know, they're rounding out the bottom right now. Billy Cunningham, Carmelo Anthony, and Ray Allen are rounding out the bottom. But again, there's no bad spot on the list when you're only talking about the greatest ever. Okay? We're only talking about the greatest ever. Now, Steph Curry is up next. All right. Now, Steph Curry is having a pretty decent career so far. I'll say he's having a pretty decent career so far. Now, Steph Curry has 3 rings. All right. He's a 2-time MVP, a 4-time All NBA player, and a 7-time All Star. Okay. So, even looking at Billy Cunningham that we just looked at, Steph Curry has surpassed him just with the 7 All Star appearances versus the 4. Um, Billy Cunningham, his 3 All NBAs, but Steph Curry already has 4 All NBAs, and he has 2 MVPs as well, and he got 2 more rings. So, boom, he's definitely gonna beat out Billy Cunningham. So that's not even in question if you ask me. Now, if he beats out Billy Cunningham, we got to look at, does he beat out Dave Cowens? Now, Dave Cowens also somewhat of a closer career. Now, Dave Cowens has 2 rings. Steph Curry already has 3 rings. Dave Cowens only has 8 All-Star appearances. Steph Curry has 7 All-Star appearances. Now, Dave Cowens has that 1 All-Defensive team. Steph Curry has no All-Defensive team. But Dave Cowens does not have any All NBAs, which Steph Curry has 4 All NBAs, and he has 2 MVPs versus Cowens only has 1 MVP, even though Cowens did get a Rookie of the Year. So I think it's we're going. I personally believe that Steph goes up above Cowens, and if he goes above Cowens, then I got to look at Nate Archibald. Okay, now Nate Archibald was somewhat close to Cowens. Okay, so does Nate really have it? No, he really doesn't have what it takes. 3 All NBA teams, 6 All Star appearances. Curry has more, and Nate Archibald has 1 ring. Curry already has 3 rings. So I don't think that's much of an issue. We can glide right past Nate Archibald. And then if we glide right past Nate Archibald, then we go up to Paul Arizon. And, I do believe we can kind of go past Paul Arizon. Now, Paul Arizon only has 1 ring. He has 4. He's been named a 4-time All NBA player and 10 All-Star. He has 10 All-Star game appearances. Okay, which is good. Okay, that is good. But Curry already has 4 All NBAs, 7 All-Star appearances with 2 Finals MVPs. Okay, so I think it's very fair to get him past Arisen as well. Now, Bob Cousy, I think the stats hurt him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I do believe blocks and steals hurt people early in the NBA career. Now, it may not have hurt Cousy as much as it hurt Wilt Chamberlain. But Bob Cousy has 1 MVP, 10 All NBA teams, 13 All Star appearances. Okay, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good, and that's very close. Now, Steph has 2 MVPs to his 1, but he only has 4 All NBAs to Cousy's 10 All NBAs. Cousy has 13 All-Star appearances, while Steph only has 7 All-Star appearances so far. Okay. Now, Steph has his 3 wings, but Cousy actually has 6 right now. So honestly, Steph has a little bit of work to do. I think it would be fair to leave Cousy as a higher rank right now, at least. I think that's fair. Steph I'm sure will surpass him, but I don't think he's caught Cousy yet. Okay, Steph is definitely an exciting player to watch. Of course, I'm pretty sure he's much more exciting on a regular basis than watching Bob Cousy. No disrespect to Bob Cousy, but the game was different then. So I think Steph would deserves to get the edge over Cousy just because he has. Excuse me. I believe Cousy deserves to get the edge over Steph Curry because at the end of the day, um, it's about what you have and haven't done yet. You know, so I'm gonna have to make an adjustment. Okay, I'm gonna have to bring Dave Cowens down to the second tier list. Let's get him on the second tier list. Now, and it's, again, this is second tier when you're talking about the greatest players of all time. So it's not that bad. Okay, we got to keep that in mind. It ain't that bad. All right. So Dave Calvin's gonna be knocked down to second tier. All right. And we get Steph Curry right behind Paul Cousy. I think that's pretty fair. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. And I do understand there is a recency bias out there. That's just always going to be the case. But when I'm looking at these numbers, Steph is more exciting to watch, and I know some people may think he deserves to be a little bit higher. Okay, he will get there eventually, y'all. He will get there eventually. All right, but he ain't there yet. That's all I'm saying. He just ain't there yet. Okay, he's definitely an exciting player to watch. I ain't got nothing against the brother. Okay, he just ain't there yet. All right, now when we look at the next up that the NBA had, it was Anthony Davis. Okay, Anthony Davis also had a pretty well. Of course, his career is not done yet. He's so far averaging 23.8 points a game, 10.2 rebounds a game, 2.3 assists per game. He's also averaging 2.3 blocks. 2.3 blocks a game and 1.4 steals a game. Now, he definitely has some great accomplishment. Now he's very close to Steph Curry because he also has 4 All NBAs. And Curry has 4 All NBAs. Now he has one more All Star appearance because he has 8 All Star appearances, while Curry only has 7 All Star appearances. But he has 2 All Defensive teams, which of course Curry does not have. But Curry does have 2 Finals MVPs. Now, my question is, these two are so close together. Do Davis has what it takes to jump Curry? Both 4 All NBAs. They only one apart from All Star appearances, with Davis having the edge. Curry has 2 Finals MVPs, which is hard to do. But Anthony Davis has 2 All Defensive teams. And Curry has neither one of those. Now I give the Finals MVPs a slight edge over the All Defensive teams. But those two are right there, if you ask me. Those two players' careers so far are kind of right there. Okay, they're kind of right there. All right. Now they scoring wise, they're right at each other. 24.3 versus 23.8 edge going to Steph Curry. Now Davis averaging 10.2 rebounds when Curry on averages 4.6, but when it comes to assists, Davis only has 2.3 to Curry's 6.5. You know, they're very close. They are very close if you ask me. them Finals MVPs do say something. So I would actually I'm gonna give the edge in this particular case. I think I'm gonna leave the edge with Curry. Okay, I'm gonna leave the edge with Curry, which means yeah. Now, and when it comes to Paul or Risen, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna leave the edge with Curry. I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna leave the edge with Curry so far. Okay, which means we can look at Paul Arisen one more time to see what he thinks about to see what he can throw in there. Now, Paul Arisen has the 4 All NBA players, but he only has 10 All-Star appearances as well. Now, with that and having the one ring, now they both have a ring because you know, and Anthony Davis has his ring as well. He already is at 8 All-Star appearances. He's also 4 All NBAs with the 2 All Defensive teams. So that tells me I gotta put Davis over Ariza. Okay, I think that is the fair right move. So we going he's knocking Dave Bing down to the second tier list. Okay, Dave Bing being knocked down to the second tier list. You know, things like this happen, y'all. Things like this happen. Okay. So now we got a new second tier list, and I'm gonna have to put Anthony Davis right after Steph Curry, but right before Paul Arisen, which I believe is more than fair. I ain't gonna say more than fair. These careers were very close. You know, these people have very close careers. You're not really bad in either calling this either way. And, okay, now, all right. That seems more than fair. And again, you're gonna have people who are going to you know these positions will change over time because at the end of the day, you're gonna have new players and we still have a few active players whose numbers are going to move up. They're going to move up. So it's not like it's over and done for everybody. You know, things are going to change um, with certain people's positioning. Okay, it's going to change. All right. Now we got Nate Archibald done. He's well the second tier list now after Nate Archibald, who's still on the first. So, but let's just run it down. So far, we still got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the top player. We got Kobe Bryant coming in at number 2, Wilt Chamberlain at number 3, Larry Bird at number 4, Giannis Antetokounmpo at number 5, Elgin Baylor at number 6, Rick Barry at number 7, Charles Barkley at number 8, Bob Cousy at number 9. Steph Curry rounding out the top 10, just edging over Anthony Davis at 11, Paul Arisen at 12. We got Nate Archibald at 13. And then it slips down to Dave Bing at number 14, Dave Cowens 15, Billy Cunningham at 17, Carmelo Anthony at 18, Ray Allen at 19. Okay. So we got one more player to go. Well, actually, no, I did something wrong. I didn't miscounted something. Hold, hold on, I done miscounted something. Give me one moment. Let me make sure my count is right. Got 1, 2, 3. All right, let's make sure the count is right, y'all. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. I got two more players to take a look at for the top 20. I got to figure out what mistake I've made. Look like I may have made a mistake, but I might be right. Who knows? But we got Dave the Busher to look at right now, y'all. Dave the Busher to look at. All right. Now, Dave the Busher has 2 NBA rings, averaged 16.1 points, 11.0 rebounds, 2.9 assists, 0.9 steals, 0.5 blocks. Good solid career. He was a 6-time all-defensive player and an 8-time all-star. Okay. Now, great numbers, but looking right up at Anthony Davis, who we're just looking at, Anthony Davis has the 4 All-NBAs. He has 0 All-NBAs. Now, Anthony Davis has 2 All-Defensive teams. Dave the Busher has 6 All-Defensive teams. Okay, they both have 8 All-Star appearances. So that being the case, I don't think Dave the Busher edges out Anthony Davis. Dave the Busher does have 1 ring. Anthony Davis only has. Anthony Davis has 1 ring. Dave the Busher only has 2 rings. Okay. Now the 6 All-Defensive teams is a big thing because that's 4 more than Anthony Davis has. But Anthony Davis has the 4 All-NBA teams that Dave the Busher doesn't have at all. Now, when I look at that, and we're looking at how things going and how Paul Arison, well, let's just name Paul Arison real quick as well. Let's just look because I'm thinking the Busher might go right above Paul Arison, but let's take one more quick look at Paul Arison again, so it's fair. Okay, now Paul Arison only has 1 ring, 10 All-Star appearances, 4 All-NBA appearances. Okay, 10 All-Stars, 4 All-NBA. All right. Now the Busher, he has the 2 rings and 8 All-Star appearances, but only 6 All-Defensive teams. So, actually, I think I'm gonna have to go with Arisen being a little bit better. Okay, looking at these, what we talking about accomplished here? 10 All-Stars, 4 All-NBAs. That All-NBA is sticking out to me. That All-NBA is sticking out to me. The fact that the Busher was able to achieve the 6 All-Defensive teams is a great thing, but the All-NBAs, they matter a lot as well. They do matter a lot as well. So it's I think that's somewhat close, somewhat debatable. Now, Arisen has the 10 All-Star appearances versus the Bush is only 8 All-Star appearances. So the 6 All-Defensive teams versus the 4 All-NBA teams makes it a little bit tough. Makes it a little bit tough. They're close to each other. They are close. They are close. The 6 All-Defensive teams, though, they are very close. Six All-Defensive, but these 4 All-NBAs with 2 extra All-Star appearances would somewhat kind of even that out, I would say. So I guess what do we value more, the 6 All-Defensive and with the versus the 2 more All-Star appearances and the 4 All-NBAs? But Dave has 2 rings. Dave the Busher has the 2 rings though. Paul Arison only has 1 ring. So I think they're right at each other. So that being the case, with them being so close, I'm gonna go ahead and let Paul have the edge for right now. I'm gonna let Paul have the edge for right now. Let me take a look at Nate Archibald. because I believe Nate Archibald. I mean, Nate Archibald did his thing. I believe he has the 3 All NBA appearances and 6 All Star game appearances. And when you put that 3 All NBAs and 6 All Stars, and let's compare that to Dave DeBuscher's 6 All Defensive and 8 All Stars. I think Dave DeBuscher can go right there, right before Nate Archibald, and he does. And DeBuscher again still has the 2 rings. Now, Tiny Archibald and Nate Archibald, same person. Tiny Archibald only has 1 NBA ring, so I think it's fair to put Dave DeBuscher right above Tiny Archibald. I think that would be the fair move to make in this particular case. Okay, the fair move to make. So let's do this here. We're gonna take that second tier list, put Nate Archibald right at the beginning of the second tier list. Okay, which again is not a horrible place to be because we're talking about the NBA greats here, y'all. We're talking about the NBA greats. Out of all the players that ever played in the NBA, to be at the beginning of the secondary team ain't horrible at all. Okay, and let's make that the second tier list, and we get Dave DeBuscher to go right above Nate Archibald. Okay, and that'll round that out for now. And we have one more player on this particular list that I got to take a look at, and this is going to be the great Clyde Drexler. Okay, Clyde Drexler had a pretty good career. He has 1 ring. He averaged 20.4 a game, 6.1 rebounds a game, 5.6 assists a game, 2.0 steals a game. So yeah, he's definitely great on his defense, and 0.7 blocks per game. Now he made the All NBA team 1 time, which is I totally understand. He's playing behind Michael Jordan, and he has the 10 All Star appearances. So pretty good, pretty good, pretty good career, pretty good career. Now we just added Dave DeBuscher to the list. 8 All-Star appearances to 10 All-Star appearances. 1 All-NBA to 6 All-Defensive teams. 2 rings to 1 ring. Dave DeBuscher has the edge. Okay, Dave DeBuscher has the edge, so I can't even look at that. So I got to go right straight down to Arizon, who was next, who has the 4 All-NBAs and the 10 All-Star appearances. They both have 10 All-Star appearances, but Clyde only has 1 All-NBA appearance. Okay, so Nate got him. Okay, Nate has him. All right, now we go and we can look at Dave Bing. Okay, let's look at Dave Bing and see how he stacks up against him. Okay, because Clyde again has 1 All NBA appearance and 10 All Star games. Now let's look at Mr. Bing here. Mr. Bing, 3 All NBAs, but 7 All Star appearances plus a Rookie of the Year. He did not get a ring. But see, when it comes to the numbers are somewhat similar. Dave Bing averaged 20.3 a game, 3.8 assists a game, 6 Dave Bing averaged 20.3 points a game, 3.8 rebounds, 6.0 assists, 1.3 blocks, 1.3 steals and 0.2 blocks. Okay. But that rookie of the year, 3 All NBAs, 7 All Stars, and you compare that to 10 All Stars and 1 All NBA. Those are very similar careers. Now, Clyde does have a ring. Okay, he does have a ring, and I do believe rings count because it's all about winning at the end of the day. It's all about winning. Now, Mr. Bean didn't get a ring. Okay, he got that rookie of the year, which you know, Clyde did not get a rookie of the year, but Clyde has 3 more All-Star appearances than Dave Bean. But Dave Bean has 2 more All NBAs than Clyde with that rookie of the year. Clyde won. This is very close. I'm gonna give the edge to Clyde for winning. I'm gonna give the edge to Clyde Drexler for winning. Okay, he got that ring. The rings help, if you ask me. You know, there's people who can argue in different ways, but to me, rings help a lot. So I don't think we need to go much further than there. Clyde will come in right behind Mr. Archibald, and that will be that so far. All right. So that's gonna have to be that. So far, we'll have to look at it as holding down number 20, the top 20 spot in the NBA, the greatest players of all time, which is not a bad thing. This is not a bad thing at all. Okay, but and shout out to Queens of Virtue. I see you in the chat. Glad to see you here as well. All right. So for that 20th spot, Ray Allen's holding that down. Carmelo Anthony coming in at 19. Billy Cunningham, number 18. Dave Cowens at 17. Dave Bing at number 16. Clyde Drexler at the 15th spot. Nate Archibald at the 14th spot. Okay. And those are all great positions to be in. All great positions to be in. And we got Dave the Busher at 13. Paul Arizon at 14. Anthony Davis. Hold on. Did I say that correctly? Yeah, Paul at 13. And yeah, Anthony Davis at 12. Steph Curry would then make 11. So the top 10 goes to Bob Cousy's coming in at the top 10. All right, Charles Barkley right above him at 9. Rick Barry at number 8. Elgin Baylor. Shout out to Black Guru. Elgin Baylor still hanging in there. And it was, so Elgin Baylor's at that number 6 spot. So he did well. Okay, he's holding on, Black Guru. He's holding on. Okay, Giannis Antetokounmpo at that 5th spot. Larry Bird right above him. Wilt Chamberlain is number 3, right next to Kobe Bryant at number 2, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at number 1. That top 3 is something else right there, y'all. That top 3 is something else. Okay, but I think this is a definitely a fair ranking so far. So we will be doing this again, probably next week. Next week Saturday we'll probably be doing this again, y'all. Okay, so I've enjoyed it. You know, I definitely enjoyed it. Looking at what we looked at, I think this is a very fair. Um, you know, there's a couple places where you can have somewhat of an argument, but I think this is a very solid list. You know, so shout out to the NBA. I've enjoyed watching them since I was a kid. So this is fun for me, y'all. It's fun for me. But I'm gonna end it right here, y'all. I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here and got things I got to do. I got places to go, people to call, things that need to be done. So I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and we'll be back soon with more great content here on the Black Dimensions. So definitely, if you found this channel, make sure you like, Make sure you subscribe. Share your comments. You know, if you think the list is bad so far, let it be known in the comments. If you think it's good so far, let it be known in the comments. Give your opinions. You know, we like to hear it all. We like to hear it all. So you have been pulled into the black dimension. Good luck finding your way out, and we will see you next time around.